Hey, I'm Jonathan Sewell Sales at Mitchell Mazda on the Boulevard in Enterprise, and I'm standing with two beautiful CUVs, the Mazda CX-5 and the Mazda CX-9, and there's $10,000 difference between these two models, and we're going to cover all those differences in 8 minutes. Let's go.
More car vids.
Getting started up front on the CX-5 Grand Touring. Of course, this one and both vehicles have the full iActive Sense suite, safety suite, and the Grand Touring upgrades to signature lighting, LED front and rear, also LED fog lights. As we move around the side here, this one does have your GT Premium package. So optional and added on this vehicle is your active driving display, power folding rear or power folding side mirrors, ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, and heated rear seats. So that is an option on this vehicle. As you can see, the parchment interior is on this vehicle. We'll have black next door, so we'll show you the differences. Bose is standard. Memory seats are standard. 8-way power seat is standard. Of course, leather wrap steering wheel is across the line. 10.25-inch infotainment is on both. And you also have the big multi-information display right there in the center. As I mentioned before, heated and ventilated seats. Also, Apple CarPlay is standard. You can see the commander control here, and of course, rear AC vents with a fold-down armrest with 2 USBs. This vehicle specifically has the optional roof rails and the all-weather mats. Other options include this bumper protector here. The GT is standard with a power rear liftgate. Also, you have accessible fold-down seats with these handles here. So a 40-20-40 drop down to fold those down. When you talk about cargo, you have 30.9 cubic feet back here behind the second row. And then when you fold that down, you have almost 60. It's 59.6. So 59.6 cubic feet of cargo. As you move around the side here, you also have a power passenger seat and very nice interior and comfortable seating with a power moonroof up top. And that Bose comes with satellite radio. Backup camera is standard. Now let's take a look underneath the hood. This is the naturally aspirated 2.5 liter SkyActiv G. Has 187 horsepower, 186 foot-pounds of torque, and also that equates to just around 9 seconds in a 0 to 60 time. This is the standard engine and only engine available on the GT, although you can upgrade to the GTR or the Signature with the turbo, which is the same engine that we'll talk about next door. But mated with a 6-speed automatic transmission, same transmission on both, and this is plenty of power for this vehicle. Before we jump next door, we can see that the CX-9 is almost 20 inches longer than the CX-5. Also, if you can tell from the difference in the height there, it's about 2.5 inches higher. And as we can noticeably tell, the width, it's about 5 inches wider. So as we dive into this vehicle, two things that really separate them before we go into equipment is the overall size for cargo and passengers. So we do have a 6-passenger vehicle in front of us, but you also can have 7 if you have that second row bench seat. Starting up front, again, full iActive Sense safety with some additional safety features and convenience features on this model now, including, as you see, the 360 view camera. Also, you have front and rear parking sensors, which allow for a rear smart city braking. So if it senses something with that sonar, it could brake automatically, as well as the smart brake support up front. You do have signature LED lighting as well, bigger than the CX-9. And way down there at the bottom, you have fog lights, LED fog lights. As we move around try to stay out of the sun here, you upgrade 20-inch wheels on this Grand Touring CX-9. Of course, lenses, but these are power fold as well. And you have heated and ventilated seats standard on the Grand Touring. Memory seats standard. Bose is standard. Satellite radio standard. The biggest difference, of course, is on the infotainment, which is standard with nav, optional on the Grand Touring CX-5. And then you have a little bit of a different design in the seat, which is very comfortable. And you see this is black with the white stitching, whereas the CX-5 would have brown stitching. And a different console here, a kind of a dual door open. And you do, of course, have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as well. Heated steering wheel is also standard on the Grand Touring, and the same style large multi-information display. Here's the first big difference on the CX-9 is that you have available captain's chairs. These are rear heated seats, and of course have their own cup holders up there. So the third row, which is folded down, we'll pull it up in just a minute, is also the other difference. So you have the capability or possibility of a third row seat and lovely sunshades as well. Of course, power rear liftgate is standard, and it's also hands-free on the CX-9. And while these seats are down here, the cargo with the third row seat up is 14.2 behind this third row seat. 14 cubic feet. So with the third row seat up, it's 14 cubic feet. With the third row seat down, it's 38. And with all these second and third row seats down, it's about 71 cubic feet. So a lot of difference with that. A little bit taller, a little bit wider, and a lot longer vehicle. Of course, you have a power seat up front here as well. And there's the view from this CX-9. Of course, the power passenger seat, the front passenger seat is power as well. And here's the view of all the seating on the CX-9. Captain's chairs is available on this model and the Touring Premium. Standard on the Signature, which is the next model up. Let's look under the hood. For the bigger size, of course, you want more power. So standard turbo 2.5T on the CX-9s, which is 227 horses, or with premium fuel, you upgrade to 250 and 320 foot-pounds of torque. Now, what does that equate to on a 0 to 60 run? A 7.1 second 0 to 60. So really flies compared to the standard CX-5, even for this larger body. Of course, that turbo makes a lot of difference. So great fuel economy on both still. This one, of course, a little bit less than your neighbor here, the CX-5. Thanks for joining me for a look at these two wonderful CUVs from Mazda. The #1 selling Mazda, the CX-5, and the larger, more passengers, more cargo CX-9. Comment down below which one you would choose, and if you have any questions or comments, give me a call at 334-718-0504. I really can't wait to see you in one of these beauties. They're all beautiful because they're Mazdas.